This is Coach over here, as you guys can see. All right, and we have the family. They don't want to come up? You guys want to come up? You should come up. You should definitely come up. First of all, we want to say congratulations on an amazing documentary. I always cry whenever you get to the end there. As a parent, I'm just like bawling, figuratively and literally. So why don't we introduce, I already introduced, so this is Bao, right? Bao and Lita. So give them another round of applause.
Thank you so much for coming today. We really had just a wonderful time watching, and I think there was probably not a dry eye in the house again at the end there. I would just love to hear a little bit from the filmmakers about how you got started in this story and how you started it and why you felt it was so important to tell this story. All right, here.
Thanks. So my producer, Jen Lee Smith, who couldn't be here tonight, she reached out to me about her daughter had recently played in the JA leagues up in Northern California, and she asked me if I knew anything about the leagues. And my husband had grown up playing in the leagues, and his whole family did, so we started down kind of a rabbit hole of like, oh, should we be making a film about the Japanese American leagues? And we talked to a couple of advisors who said, well, why don't you find a contemporary story to help nest the history? So through that, I went to my husband's cousins, who introduced us actually through someone who introduced us to Jamie, Coach Jay, and a lot of other people. And once we met Coach Jay, we're like, oh, sold. Like, someone has to do a documentary about her. So so then in that conversation, she told us about Ashley and their family. So we just became interested, we started talking, and that was basically how we began. And then Brandon came onto the crew pretty soon into it as Cambodian American as well, producer, to help us tell that story as well. So
amazing. What was your response when you found out that you're going to be a subject of a documentary? Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Coach Jimmy, that's part of my life. And been helping me so much. Seeing day one. Back then, she come to watch Ashley's game on the JO League, and also club travel team that we all go hang out and play some game. And then one day that Coach Jamie come to ask one of the head coach that
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm kind of shaking a little bit, that's why I can. Can I let Coach Jamie talk?
Oh, they're so sweet. Okay, so I learned about Ashley when she was pretty young, probably about 12 years old. Her name was already out there amongst the Asian community of basketball players, and I coach at Fort Ridge Prep. And so our school is a really academically rigorous school, not known for sports whatsoever. But like I said, we just so happen to have a really good basketball program. And when I learned about Ashley and I met Bao and Lita, I knew that this was an athlete in a family that would really benefit from a prep education. And so our school is just highly, highly selective because it's so academically rigorous. We only admit 50 people every year, about 500 plus apply, and of those 50 are 25 girls. And so I went to them and I said that there's absolutely no guarantees that I can get Ashley in because we don't provide any athletic scholarship. Everything is just need-based. So it works just like FAFSA. If there's a need, then we have like an endowment fund that provides help for the families in need. So I told them, I'm pretty sure that your family will qualify for some financial assistance, but she needs to get in on her own merit. And Ashley was able to do that. So Ashley was actually placed on the waiting list, and through much prayer and much faith that her parents placed in me, she actually got into Flint Ridge Prep one day before we actually started school because somebody decided not to come and that space became available for Ashley. And that's where the story began.
movie ផងតូនខ្ញុំនឹងខូចគ្នាហ្នឹងហើយ movie ហ្នឹងពួកខ្ញុំមិនដែល expect ថាវាមកអញ្ចឹងណាព្រោះអីតាំងពីដំបូងមកពួកខ្ញុំមកដល់អាមេរិកគឺពួកខ្ញុំអត់ចេះអង់គ្លេសទេហើយពួកខ្ញុំរៀនតាមធម្មតាប៉ុន្តែដល់ពេលគេប្រាប់ថាកូនលេង basketball អីចឹងធម្មតាយើងខ្មែរនៅស្រុកខ្មែរអត់មានណាគេគាំទ្រលេងពីជំនាន់មុនហ្នឹងមែនឥឡូវទេពីជំនាន់មុនគេអត់គាំទ្រយើងលេង sport ទេកូនស្រីមិនចឹងយ៉ាងតែឥឡូវទីខុសគ្នាឥឡូវចាដល់ពេលទៅខ្ញុំចេះថាកូនស្រីហើយទៅលេង basketball អញ្ចឹងបាក់ដៃបាច់ជើងទៅហើយវាស្រីហើយយើងចេះមានអារម្មណ៍អញ្ចឹងយើងនៅខ្មែរតាំងយូរហើយហើយគាត់លេងគាត់នៅយូរគាត់ចប់ high school នៅនេះគាត់លេង basketball នៅនេះហើយថ្ងៃមួយហ្នឹងខ្ញុំទៅស្រុកខ្មែរមួយខែខ្ញុំអត់យកកូនស្រីខ្ញុំទៅទេគាត់មួយខែហ្នឹងគាត់យកទៅកូនទៅលេងបាល់មួយខែពេញហ្មងហើយមួយខែហ្នឹងគឺលេងរហូតមួយថ្ងៃពីម៉ោងល្ងាចឡើងមក30ថ្ងៃពេញហ្មងហើយតាំងពីខ្ញុំត្រឡប់មកវិញកូនខ្ញុំលេង basketball ហើយប្រាប់ណាគេក៏គេអត់ចង់ឲ្យជឿដែរសូម្បីតែពូខ្ញុំក៏គាត់ថាឲ្យកូនលេងទៅអើកូនស្រីលេងបាក់ដៃបាក់ជើងក៏មិនទៅហើយខ្ញុំក៏មិនដឹងថាម៉េចទេហើយកូនខ្ញុំវាចូលចិត្តចាប់ផ្ដើមឲ្យវាលេងទៅក៏វាចូលចិត្តលេងដល់ពេលវាចូលចិត្តលេងទៅក៏ពួកខ្ញុំពីរនាក់ហ្នឹង support តែពីរនាក់ហ្នឹងទេក្រោយមកក៏មានខូចមានអីហើយខូចនេះគាត់នៅ school private school ពេលវាចូលឆ្នាំទី8ទៅចូលទៅ private school ហ្នឹងគេត្រូវការអ្នក basketball ដែរហើយគាត់ក៏ជួយខ្ញុំអញ្ចឹងណាជួយខ្ញុំឲ្យចូលអញ្ចឹងទៅព្រោះធម្មតាយើងក៏មិនដឹងថា school មិនល្អដែរដល់ពេលយូរទៅបានយើងចេះដឹងថាតាមប៉ាត់ sport វាសំខាន់អញ្ចឹងហើយក៏គាត់ជួយរហូតមកហើយក៏គាត់ជួយគាត់រកមនុស្សអីពួកខាង documentary អីគេមកតាក់ទងអញ្ចឹងទៅក៏អញ្ចឹងទៅហើយចាប់ពីមួយរយៈក្រោយប្រហែលជា5-6ឆ្នាំចុងក្រោយហ្នឹងបានគ្រូសាខាងខ្ញុំហ្នឹងគេថា sport វាសំខាន់អញ្ចឹងទៅហើយខ្ញុំធម្មតាយើងខ្មែរទឹកមកវាដឹងតែរកស៊ីខំប្រឹងរកទៅលុយណាខំចាំកូនទៅភ្លេចអស់ហើយកូនលេងបាល់កូនលេងអីក៏មិនបានទៅមើលអីដែរប៉ុន្តែជាទៅ support វានៅពីក្រោយអញ្ចឹងណាហើយយើងខ្មែរធម្មតានៅស្រុកខ្មែរដូចម៉ាក់ខ្ញុំអញ្ចឹងកើតខ្ញុំមកក៏គាត់មិនដែរទៅថាទៅស្រឡាញ់កូនទៅមើលកូនជួយអីគេក៏គាត់ថាត្រូវការលុយត្រូវការនំត្រូវការបាយអីហ្នឹងគាត់ធ្វើឲ្យតែបើថាឲ្យជួយជំរុញយើងលេងបាល់ក៏គាត់ថាខំប្រឹងរៀនអីអញ្ចឹងណាតែការស្រឡាញ់ការអីគឺយើងអត់ដឹងទេដល់ពេលអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំមកដល់នេះដូចគ្នាកូនស្រីខ្ញុំយើងកាយក្មេងៗដែរហើយខ្ញុំមកក៏អត់ទៅជាអង់គ្លេសយើងចេះខំប្រឹងរកលុយភ្លេចថាខ្ញុំត្រូវពេលចំណាយពេលវេលាជាមួយកូនខ្ញុំច្រើនអញ្ចឹងណាខ្ញុំអត់មានទេតាំងពីកូនខ្ញុំរៀនតាំងពីតៃមករហូតដល់រៀន high school ក៏ចុងឆ្នាំទី4រៀន high school នោះបានទៅមើលបាល់វារហូតអញ្ចឹងណាពីមុនមកយើងអត់សូវបានទៅខ្ញុំទៅឆ្លោះឯងដល់ពេលអញ្ចឹងពិបាកដែរដល់ពេលតម្រាំទៅវាយល់វាអត់សូវយល់មកទេអញ្ចឹងចង់ផ្ដំទាំងអស់គ្នាថាឲ្យមានកូនកុំគិតលុយច្រើនពេកspend more time ជាមួយនឹង kids អញ្ចឹងណាហើយ support no matter sport what kind of sport support វាទាំង អត់ទៅណាព្រួយអាហ្នឹងthe future be better ចាខ្ញុំមានតែប៉ុណ្ណឹង
I'll do a really quick summary of that since you said so many amazing things that I can't kind of consolidate that. But one of the things she did say that she went on vacation to Cambodia for a month, and she left Ashley with her father and came back, and all he did was play basketball with her. And that's when she learned how to play basketball, and she was worried that, you know, a basketball player, and she's a girl, is she gonna break her legs, you know, all these things, but it was too late. She had already, like, you know, got her obsessed with basketball. And she also said that one of the things she's learned about this whole sports and process things is, you know, girls can play sports too. And that as a parent, you know, you should support your kids no matter what their dreams are. And she wished she had learned that lesson a little earlier so she could go see more of Ashley's games. Yeah. So Brandon, how did you come onto the project?
Yeah, I can speak about that. First of all, thank you all for coming. Really means a lot to us. You know, I was born and raised in Long Beach as a second-generation Cambodian American, so I feel like this space is like very special, very valuable to us. I came onto the film about end of 2020. I was on this like Slack group called Asian American Documentary Network, and our producer Jen, she was looking for a Cambodian American filmmaker to come up, be a part of the project. And I just graduated college around the time. I was just, you know, kind of looking for projects to be a part of. But when I heard about, you know, Ashley's story, I was sold immediately. I felt like, you know, I felt like the same like upbringing to her as, you know, another second generation Cambodian American, you know, to a family of refugees, a lot of, you know, same dynamics of family that I grew up with. But yeah, I think through it all these past 4 years, I you know, got to know Ashley and Valdelita, and especially Jamie a lot more. And you know, I just feel like it's so important for us within our own community to tell our stories, uplift our stories. So yeah, that's, you know, one of the main reasons why I was a part of this project.
And he did just, I forgot, he didn't start as a producer because he had just come out of college, so it was intern, and then we moved into production as associate producer, and then producer, like very quickly. So Brandon is huge and crucial and amazing producer, and we're so happy to have him.
On that time that you spent, was it 3 years that you followed? 3 years that you followed?
Yeah.
What were some of the changes that you saw in Ashley? I mean, she has like that rare combination of talent and determination and passion and the ability, right? She has kind of everything, she's the whole package. How did you see though the changes yourself in Ashley during the time of filming?
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully you see it too. I would say maturity was a big one, but still growing. I mean, we're all works in progress. I think we knew when we started that it was going to be a coming of age that we followed for 3 years. There was a kind of a nice beginning and end that we sort of already knew about, but we didn't know what necessarily would happen, what college she would go to. I think her growing as a leader was a huge one that we all were hoping for. You know, I mean, we knew what happened. I mean, Coach Jay from the beginning was like, oh, this is going to happen, you know. So I think also her experience with her family, I think she started to look, you know. I think it was very much in the beginning not at all wanting to have anything to do with them and very sort of separate and distant, I would say, throughout. And you can kind of see near the end, there's a little bit more like, okay, like this is who I come from, and you have hope, and you know that like there's going to be a lot more discovery, which there already has been, I think. So.
Great. What were some? I know, so 3 years with everything, so that means you're shooting during the pandemic. What were some of the challenges that you faced around that?
Well, obvious reasons, like not, I would say like that first game that you see, we weren't able to even be inside. We had a crew outside, and I can't remember what happened. It was like there was too many people, or you know. Yeah, there was something, and so our crew wasn't even allowed in, and that was when she injured herself. So we have this like bird's eye of like the game. But actually, we just got creative and we bought Ashley a camera, and so she would do video diaries of herself. So I would give her prompts like every week, and she'd do them and upload them, and it was all a lot. But yeah, I would say that's why we kind of skipped through 2020 and 2020. We kind of really start junior year, I would say, that first year.
All right, and then what would you say for all of you? What was something that kind of surprised you that came out during this filming process that maybe wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been there with your camera? For anyone, yeah. Coach?
I think it's a little hard to say what would or wouldn't have happened because we don't know, but I know that at first Ashley thought it was really cool, and she thought it was going to be really cool that a camera would follow her around school, and like she'd have all this clout, and by the end she was like, oh, I hate that they follow me around school. And I said, I told you they were going to do that when we signed up for this. And I think as she became more independent and as she became more in tune with herself, her own ideas, then, you know, I think that she actually noticed the cameras more because she was just coming into herself and doing her thing, whereas a freshman, you know, freshmen, they just want to be cool and fit in, and so she thought that would be really good. But I think just overall over the 4 years, like, you don't see Ashley now, but as I know Ashley now, and they just moved her back into Princeton for her second year. She's in her dorm, and she's just this great spokesperson for Princeton now and for Flint Ridge Prep. The young girl that you see, just frustrated, her, you know, sophomore year after injury is gone. I mean, that person doesn't even exist anymore. She's just so eloquent now, and she has such a bigger worldview, I think, and I do think that this film contributed to that because I heard her speak after the last screening, and I heard her just have deep gratitude for her parents, and just a lot of hope for Ethan and his future. And so I think, you know, would that have happened without the film? Sure, but maybe not until she was a mom herself. But she really gets to see, like, all of you herself grow up on screen, and you have to face that. I mean, it's real, that really happened. And so I think that maybe for her evolution was put on fast forward for herself. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, if there's any other thoughts on that. Or I also want to say the music was amazing in this film. Is there a playlist I could get somewhere?
We talk about that. Actually, Gene, I don't think he's here anymore, but our composer was in the audience tonight, who was amazing. And then we had Dengue Fever. I don't know if you noticed that. We got 30 songs. I was hoping that she would stay to watch it. And then we had, Ruby Ibarra as well. So yeah, that was, a lot of those came from our editor too, Gene Kawahara, who sort of early on actually was like, have you heard of Dengue Fever? And I hadn't, and so we were listening, and I think Brandon, you had known about them, but yeah.
I mean, if y'all want a Spotify playlist of the music, I can create one and share it.
All right, we're now going to open this up to the audience. If you have any questions, please go ahead and raise your hands, and we'll speak loudly. Yeah. Question? Anybody? All right, I have a question down here. If you didn't hear the
I'm gonna kind of speak on behalf of Ashley. I know she's not here, she's at school, but Ashley didn't see it for a long time until the film was completely wrapped. And she flew back in from Princeton and we viewed it privately, just myself, Erica, and Ashley. And I think my fear wasn't what she was gonna think because this is her entire adolescence on film, and it's very raw in parts. So as a coach and as a mother, my fear was always Ashley's integrity needs to be protected, this family's integrity needs to be protected, and so I had the utmost trust and faith in Erica and Brandon to tell a story that was obviously captivating, but was also like of high integrity because she wasn't even 18 by the time it finished. And so I think I was able to breathe a sigh of relief after Ashley finally saw it. I think it was difficult for her to see it in that moment. And then the next day, we had a huge premiere with over 400 people. And that's when we finally understood the power of the film. Like, I could hear people crying. And these are Asian Americans of all different backgrounds. I could hear them crying, I could hear them laughing. And Ashley and I just turned to each other and we're like, I didn't think that was funny. Like, we didn't understand why they were laughing because we were just doing our thing, but the way that it touched people was very reassuring. So I can say now that I'm no longer fearful of how people will think of Ashley. Like, I didn't care how people thought of me. I'm a middle-aged woman. I'm very much, secure in who I am, but this is a very young adult who has her whole future ahead of her. So now I feel great about it. These two had no idea what they were walking into. Zero. In fact, when I told them about it, I'm not even sure that they understood what I was saying. And then I came with like a 90-page contract, and I was like, my husband was like, Jamie, you cannot sign this. Like, you don't know what this is, you don't know who these people are. And I was just, I don't know, I was a fool. I talked to Ashley, I asked her if she wanted to do it. I had a friend of mine who was entertainment attorney make sure the conditions that I had just stated were in the contract. But honestly, I don't think any of us actually knew what we were getting into, and we definitely didn't know it was gonna last 3 years.
So for everybody who doesn't know what was going on right there, the seniors showed up this morning at 9 a.m. For this screening, because they were so excited, they were decked out, and so at about like an hour ago, they were like, we're hungry. Yes. So this is what happened. So that was why the line was happening. We have a whole seniors organization from Charles Song who also went out there. He made sure that all the seniors were here to see the movie because they were so excited about coming to the festival. So just to explain what happened there. They loved your movie. They just needed to eat.
All right. Yes, there's another question.
So, yeah, I'm not a basketball player. I'll say I didn't come into this actually, I was interested in the story, I was interested in the history of the JA Leagues, and then when I met Ashley, and then I met Ashley's family, I was really sold. I think the special, like, when I really started recognizing how deeply impacting it was the closer I got with Lita, Val, and Ashley, and really seeing that relationship. And I would often, we had like crying sessions sometimes, like I'd be in the middle of, shooting or whatever, and I'd like come over and we'd exchange cameras or whatever, and would just cry about what we were experiencing, that Ashley trying to live her life, everything that you two were holding and carrying and her not seeing and all of the things, there's a lot. And so I think that, yeah, it was almost like every day felt like magic once we sort of really got in with the family, and that's when I sort of really knew we had something special. I sort of went, and then we brought it to the editor, and Jean Kalahara is amazing, but we spent a year in the edit room, and I still can't watch it without crying. There's still something, I don't know, that resonates quite deeply, but I would say it'd be that relationship that was it. I don't know.
I should see that.
Yeah, of course.
I think what was most surprising but also assuring was how like everything came into place towards the end. So what you saw, CI finals, how they won the championship. To be honest, we didn't think that they would actually win. So yeah, it wasn't on our calendar. So yeah, Erica told our DP director of photography like, hey, don't come. So he went to Hawaii, and by the time they actually made it, we were like, damn, we scheduled these last minute shoots, but but it worked out. The film just had like a great ending, a great kind of like closing to the story, and I feel like everything just ended up working out compared to how we were in the beginning.
Yeah, they're great. I know that was kind of, I'm like, this is a documentary, right? Like where they made it all the way to the championships. I was like, oh, this is perfect. You couldn't have written it better, really. All right, we have time for one more question from the audience. All right, over there.
Does Ashley have any plans for going to the WNBA?
I talked to her, but I don't think she wanted to go. But I wanted to go. I think last year I was in Cambodia. They have a SEA game, and they were texting her. One of the head coach in Cambodia texting her about 2 weeks before the SEA game and it's starting. But she said no. Yeah. But in my heart, I wanted to go. Yeah. I hope she changed her mind later on. But I still wanted to go.
One announcement, and I just wanted to let you guys know that you have won the best documentary of the stick around for the rest of the film today and tomorrow.
There's food for seniors and students in the back, so if you guys want to make your way out here or just mingle in the back or the front, feel free to. Or take pictures, take lots of pictures. Tag us. Thank you.